This bike has the capability of riding with a cadence and torque sensor. We're gonna start things off with a throttle only up the hill, see what this 750 watt motor can actually do. But I personally like the versatility of gears, especially if I'm riding on hilly stuff like this. And if I push in a little harder, this feels really good. It feels like it's taking the weight off. Euphree is a brand that's been around since 2020, offering great looking e-bikes built around quality and comfort. Their entire lineup offers a comfortable riding position, a straightforward user experience, and brand name components. This is the Solar Sparrow. It's their lightest e-bike in their lineup, and it was first released as a belt drive option, which is still available, but this is the chain drive version, which is great for people that need the versatility of gears. And as Euphree offers new models and iterations on their lineup, they do a great job of listening to customer feedback and offering small but meaningful changes. And we see that here. So on the belt drive version, it had a monoshock. Now we have a rigid front fork. This makes it great for riding on pavement, but you still get the added comfort of a suspension seat post on the back. Visually, it looks even better. Now we have paint-matched fenders, and they upgraded the 500 watt motor to a 750 watt Bafang motor. So now you get the added versatility of gears and extra hill climbing power. So in this review, I'll give you an up-close look at all the components. I'll even give you a side-by-side look of the Solar Sparrow and the City Robin 3. We'll take it to the pavement and up our test hill to test out the performance, and then we'll wrap things up with my overall thoughts and the pros and cons. But before all that, let's take a closer look. So as I mentioned, Euphree has put a strong focus on comfort, with many of their models offering features like swept-back handlebars, an adjustable stem, quality SR Sun Tour suspension components, in this case the suspension seat post. And if you were considering some other models in their lineup, we do have full reviews on every single one. Another great thing to be aware of is Euphree has a growing dealer network. I believe they've partnered with over 170 bike shops as of now. You can look for their dealer locator on their website to see if you're close to a shop near you for test rides or in-person support. As of right now on their website, the Solar Sparrow chain drive is offered at $17.99, but we do have the QR code on screen that you can scan, or our affiliate link down in the description if you want to check current information. Also, if you want to support our content for free and you plan on making a purchase with Euphree, using our affiliate links when you go to make your purchase is a great way to do so. And don't forget to use our code EBikeEscape when you register your e-bike. If you register within 30 days, you'll score a free lock and stem bag. Just select eBike Escape in the promotion box to help support us. I'm really liking the new color options Euphree is coming out with. There are 3 color options for the chain drive Solar Sparrow. You can get it in ultraviolet, canyon flame, or Riviera blue, which you see here. And it might be hard to see on camera, but there is a metallic flake in the paint, so when it catches the sunlight, it looks really nice. It has an advertised weight of 59.5 pounds. Our scale puts it just over 60 pounds with the battery and all the accessories. And the battery weighs in just under 6 pounds. And I weighed the battery using our roll top style waterproof fire resistant battery bag. When you roll it up, it creates a nice grab handle, and there are Velcro straps to strap a second battery to a rack, but a great way to safely transport and store your battery. We sell this and other high quality accessories at shop.ebikeescape.com. This has a total payload capacity of 300 pounds. The standover height comes in at 15.5 inches. The rider height range is 5 foot to 5'10". Now I'm a 6'1" rider with a 33-inch inseam, so slightly outside of that range. And I am falling just shy of getting full leg extension, but I had Ryan's wife Allie hop on this bike. She's 5'5" and she was able to get a comfortable fit. Let's take an up-close look at the components. These are 2-piston Tetra-hydraulic disc brakes paired with 180mm rotors. Same setup on the back. The front wheel attaches with a Thru-Axle, and yes, now it features a rigid front fork. These are 26 by 2.4 inch Kenda Quick 6 tires. They feature a street tread. Paint matched fenders are included, so you get coverage in the front with full coverage in the rear. Here's Eupphree's badge on the front plate with 4 mounting points for optional front accessories. But the rear rack is included, and this is a 33-pound capacity MIK compatible rack. And if you're not familiar with MIK accessories, MIK stands for mounting is key. It's basically a quick, easy way to swap out accessories securely. And I'll just quickly show you how it works using our Cool Case cooler that we sell at our shop. But you basically match this tab up with the front of the rack here, and then there is a spring-loaded latch here that's keyed. So just slide that forward, push in the key, pop it down, and that's not going anywhere, and it's just as easy to take off. The cable management is really clean and routed through the frame, and it features a lighting package that runs off the main battery, so the front headlight, and a rack-mounted taillight that does brighten when you pull on the brake levers. It has an adjustable stem with 90 degrees of adjustment, swept back handlebars for an upright riding position, Tektro brake levers with motor cutoffs, Euphree branded lock-on rubber ergonomic grips, the Shimano trigger shifter, a thumb throttle mounted on the left side, and you know a brand cares about quality when even the included bike bell is good. Check this out. And right up front is an SP mount to quickly mount a phone. Let's go over the displays and controls. We'll power it up, Euphree on startup. So color display here. On the right side, you can see your battery readout with percentage. You can also see how much motor power you're drawing on the right. On the left side, you can see the pedal assist level that you're in. You can of course turn off the pedal assist, but then you have Eco, Tour, Sport, and Turbo. Front and center, we have speed. Underneath is a bunch of different ride information. You can see your odometer, your total trip mileage, and your average speed. In order to turn the lights on, hold pedal assist up for a few seconds, indicator up top, and to activate walk mode, hold pedal assist down. Now let's dive into the settings, hold pedal assist up and down. There's a bunch of different settings within this display. I'm gonna pick out the ones that I think matter most, but on the main page, you have display settings, information, language, themes, password, Euphree Connect, and factory reset. Currently, there is no app to connect with, but this is an interesting sign for maybe something to come. But let's dive into display settings. Here you can change the unit, you can change the auto off, trip reset, odometer reset, you can change the screen brightness, change the Bluetooth signal level, but the setting that I think you're going to want to know about is drive mode. This is where you can switch between the cadence and torque sensor. We'll explore that in our riding footage. In light mode, you can have it be standard or running lights or flashing lights. And then if you go into advanced settings, this is where you can customize more of the performance. So ride style is where you can customize each pedal assist level. So you can dive into any one of these and change the timing and power assist. So the timing is going to affect how fast that motor kicks in. And the power assist, you get 3 different percentages to choose from in each riding mode. We'll go ahead and crank things up in turbo for our riding footage. Next is where you can change your e-bike class. So this is where you can choose between class 1, 2, 3, and unlimited. And then you can actually change the throttle settings to take on the profile of any one of the pedal assist levels. At the bottom of each setting screen, there is a back button. And then when you get to the main screen, you can go to exit, and that will bring you back home. Moving on, for graphics, we have Euphree on the down tube on both sides, Solar Sparrow on the seat stay, and Euphree designed in Houston right here on the seat tube. There's also a couple mounting points on the seat tube. These are Well-Go pedals, and it has a short rear-mounted kickstand. This is an NCX suspension seat post from SR Sun Tour, and that's paired with a wide comfort saddle. So this does a good job of saving your back from some pain. Let's take a look at the battery. So this does have a battery cover. There is a release here that you pull on, and then that comes off. Then to actually remove the battery, insert the key and turn it to the right. It'll pop up halfway, and then you push the metal tab down here to release it the rest of the way. So this is a 48 volt, 10.5 amp hour battery with an advertised range up to 50 miles. This was tested by SGS to UL2271 standards, and the bike's electronics are tested to UL2849 standards. You can take a quick look at the battery's charge by pushing this button here. And the battery is paired with a 2-amp charger, so you can expect charge times from empty to be in the 5 to 6 hour range. To install the battery, find the terminals, label goes down, snap into place, and that will lock the battery so you don't need the keys anymore. And just remember, the battery cover's release goes on top, so slide the bottom in and clip into place. And then you'll find some other accessories in the box. So there's a tote bag here, some stickers, a multi-tool, a nice patriotic longer 5mm Allen wrench, and reflectors for the front and back. If you opt for doorstep delivery, the assembly steps are pretty straightforward, but if you do want professional assembly, remember they do have that growing dealer network, so you can check their dealer locator to see if there's a location near you for professional assembly. There's that new Bafang 750-watt motor, and that's paired with your choice of riding with a torque or cadence sensor. The derailleur is from Shimano. It's their Altus derailleur. Euphree is the only brand I know of offering a 10-tooth cog. So this goes from 10 to 32 teeth. And then we'll follow the chain up here to the 50-tooth double-walled chainring. And before we hit the road, why don't we put it next to the City Robin 3, just in case you are looking for a little extra comfort and performance. So the first thing I'll note is that the step-through window is a little bit wider, but a little bit higher to step over. They both feature swept-back handlebars, but the City Robin has slightly wider handlebars. They have faux leather grips, and the saddle is brown to match. It also features the NCX suspension seat post, but then you get a suspension fork up front to really take care of the bumps. It features the same drivetrain as the Solar Sparrow, and it also has swappable sensors. The Bafang motor also has 750 watts of nominal power, but then where you're really stepping up in performance is the battery capacity. So the City Robin features nearly 5 extra amp hours of power. This is a 15 amp hour battery, and that bumps up the advertised max range to 70 miles. Right now we have some of Eupphree's optional accessories mounted to the City Robin, including their front basket, their stem bag, and their MIK compatible rear basket. But we'll pop this off real quick. And it also features some pannier hangers on the side. Just note that if you were hoping to put a child seat on either of these racks, they are unfortunately not compatible. And then another small difference, but these are the Quick 7.5 tires from Kenda, so they're 27.5 inches by 2.4 inches. But that's it for the differences there. I think it's time to take the Solar Sparrow for a ride. All right, we're gonna kick things off with the throttle-only acceleration test. Just a quick note, I am a 200-pound rider. We're gonna see what this 750-watt motor can do. 3, 2, 1, throttle only. All right, a gentle takeoff, but then it ramps up to speed pretty quick. There's 15, 18, 19, 20 on the GPS, 20 on the display. I am going up a slight hill, but it is able to comfortably hold me right around 20 miles per hour. This bike has the capability of riding with a cadence and torque sensor. And we're gonna pop into display setting, scroll all the way down to drive mode, and we're gonna kick things off with the cadence sensor. Now remember, in advanced settings, you do have some control over the power, and you can change the e-bike class. I'm gonna start with class 2 speeds and a max of 20 miles per hour for the cadence sensor. And we're going to start things off in Eco, and I'll give you an idea of what to expect in each pedal assist level. So if you're not familiar with the cadence sensor, basically it's gonna read when my legs are spinning and then introduce motor power. Now this uses a current-based system, so each level of pedal assist will give me a set amount of power. No matter how hard I push into these pedals, the motor is not going to give me more power. So starting off in Eco, I feel a nice gentle assist, and this is not speed capped, so it'll just give me that lower amount of current and then ramp me up to speed as long as I'm spinning my legs. So a nice cool 11 miles per hour in Eco with easy pedaling. I felt a nice boost up there, shifting up through the gears. 13 miles per hour, 14, slowly ramping up here. I have no doubts this is going to get me up to 20 miles per hour. There we go. Next thing we're going to test out here is how fast it takes that cadence sensor to get to the top speed, starting from a stop. So we'll see how fast we can get to 20. 3, 2, 1, pedal. Lots of power in turbo. There's 10, 15, 17, 18, 19. There's 20 on the GPS and 20 on the display. So with the cadence sensor, honestly, these pedal assist levels give you a good amount of power, and you ramp up to speed pretty fast, even in sport, getting up to the top 20 pretty easily. Now we're going to switch over to the torque sensor. So display settings, we'll go down to drive mode and throw that torque sensor on. Now the difference here is the pedals are actually going to read how much pressure I'm putting into the pedals. So you can kind of control the motor with your legs more. The harder I push in, the more motor power I'll get. And I am going to go ahead and unlock class 3 speeds. So shifting down, and we're going to start things off in eco. And I'm just going to call out what the easy cruising speed is and what speed we can get when we put more effort into the pedals in each riding mode here. So eco, I'm in 3rd gear, just barely pushing into the pedals and feeling very connected to the pedals, able to cruise easily at 10 miles per hour. And if I push in a little harder, this feels really good. It feels like it's taking the weight off, the extra weight that an e-bike adds on, but giving me a pretty natural pedal feel like I'm riding a traditional bike. So I can still feel a little bit of burn in my legs. Let's bump it up into tour, and then easing off the pedals a little bit. We're kind of picking off where we left off in eco with more effort. So easily holding at 12 miles per hour. And if I push in a little harder, able to creep up over 15 miles per hour, shifting up. Let's go up into sport. And yeah, so really nicely tuned, because as soon as I go into the next level of assist, I'm picking up right where I left off. It just takes all the weight, all the burn out of my legs. So easy to cruise at about 15 miles per hour with light effort into the pedals. And then if I push in harder, I'm sure we can get up to 20 miles per hour. Shifting up, there we go. So with a moderate effort, getting north of 20 miles per hour, let's throw it into turbo. And actually kind of opening up the floodgates on power here. Almost feels like a cadence sensor experience, ramping up to 25 miles per hour with a little more effort. We can easily hit 28 miles per hour. I could pedal like this for a long time. So pretty nice, you can tap into a lot of motor power using the torque sensor. Sometimes that can be a limitation with the torque sensor. Oh yeah, it's very sensitive when you start in turbo. So make sure you turn down the pedal assist levels once you reach a slow speed. But what we're gonna do here is cross the street, and then I wanna see what it takes to go from 0 up to the top 28 miles per hour with the torque sensor. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, pedal in 2nd gear, shifting up pretty fast. There's 15, there's 20. All right, 7th gear, there's 25, a little more effort. And there is 28 on the GPS, reading just lower on the display, 27.5. But now I'm easing off the pedals and very comfortably cruising pretty close to 28 miles per hour here. Now, another thing I wanted to call out is Eupphree's doing something pretty interesting that we haven't seen on really any other e-bike, and they're putting a 10-tooth cog on the rear. So when you get up to top speeds, you get a really nice slow cadence. So that's definitely unique. Now, when you are at low speeds, it feels a little crazy to be in 8th gear, but when you're at high speeds, you'll really appreciate it. Now we're gonna make our way over to our test hill, but I wanna talk a little bit about ride feel. So swept back handlebars, the adjustable stem, I'm able to get a nice upright riding position. The ergonomic grips give me a nice shelf to put my hands down on, but I don't have a lot of pressure down on my wrists. No doubt this seat has a lot of comfort, and I really feel the suspension seat post doing its job. Since I have an upright riding position, I really don't mind that this bike has a rigid fork, because I'm not putting a lot of weight down on that front tire. I'm keeping it mostly above the seat. So unless you plan on, you know, riding on more trails and plan on encountering more bumps, this bike offers a ton of support over bumps just on pavement. With that, let's head over to our test hill. All right, here we are at our test hill. We're gonna start things off with a throttle only up the hill, see what this 750 watt motor can actually do. Right now, I feel like we're probably pulling a good amount of power and I can't hear the motor, but now we're really putting load on it. And let's see what happens. So, I feel it pushing. There's 5, 4, 3. It's pushing pretty hard, but we are going pretty slow. This is a massive test hill though, so we can put the specs up on screen so you can see what we're dealing with here. We're probably hitting a 13, 14% grade right now. And remember, I'm a 200-pound rider. That said, oh, I hit the brakes, but it would still push me up, but this would be a really long hill climb test if we're going up at 3 miles per hour. And if you're familiar with the channel and you've seen Ryan take bikes up this test hill, just note I weigh about 60 pounds more than he does, and I'm sure he would just fly up this hill on this bike. But I got a feeling this is going to do a lot better with some pedal support, so we're going to turn around and do that right now. What I like to do is just see what kind of power I can get in eco. We're going to shift down into a low gear, and if I can, I'll shift up. But when my legs start burning, I'm going to ask the motor to help me out a little bit more. So, hill is starting now. I feel like this is a nice low gear to help with the hill climb. All right, hitting the steep part, and yeah, I mean, I'm feeling some support from the motor, but really mostly leg effort right now. Let's go up into tour. All right, now we're getting some power, getting up to 6 miles per hour. Let's go up to sport, 7. I think the hill gets a little steeper as we near the top too. But I can't shift up, so let's go into turbo. Okay, that took a lot of weight off my legs. We're accelerating and I'm easing off the pedals. Now I'm riding with the torque sensor right now, which means the harder I push in, the more I'll get. Now turbo did make that a lot easier. But what I found is, with all the e-bikes I've been on, torque sensors can be a little bit more challenging to pull motor power when you're going up a hill. So remember, if you need to tap into more motor power, that throttle is there if you need it. And if you don't want to hold down the throttle, you can always switch it over to the Cadence sensor. And just know you are going to get full support from the motor if you turn it up into turbo. I do like that they bumped up the motor power on this bike. And the gears is definitely a game changer for me. There is the belt drive version if you value a low maintenance experience. The Gates belt drive is rated for, I think, over 10,000 miles of maintenance-free riding. But I personally like the versatility of gears, especially if I'm riding on hilly stuff like this. So I'm super stoked. Euphree came out with the chain drive version of the Solar Sparrow. So why don't we throw to some third-person riding footage and we'll cover my overall thoughts and the pros and cons.
Euphree has always done a great job of listening to customer feedback and making small but meaningful changes as they iterate on their lineup. And the Solar Sparrow chain is a great example of that. It's not just built around one big headline feature, it's also a collection of small, thoughtful updates that add up to a genuinely better bike. So let's get into the pros and cons. I can appreciate the simplicity and low maintenance of a single-speed belt drive, but as someone who lives in a moderately hilly area, I absolutely love that they now offer the Solar Sparrow as an 8-speed setup too. The Altus derailleur is pretty common to see at this price for good reason, it's reliable, but Eupphree's freewheel going down to a 10-tooth cog is completely unique, and it offers one of the most comfortable pedal cadences at top speed. I think ditching the monoshock for the rigid fork was a good move that cleans up the look. In most cases, I welcome the extra cushion of suspension up front, but this is an upright pavement cruiser, so you aren't putting a lot of weight over the front wheel, and they include an SR Suntour suspension seat post that does a lot to smooth out bumps in the rear, a comfort feature Euphree has prioritized across their entire lineup. The step-thru frame makes it easy to hop on, and the color options look great. And now that the fenders are paint matched, I think this has to be one of the best looking e-bikes at this price. And I was happy to see the bump up to a 750 watt motor. It wasn't the most powerful I've tested, but it strikes a good balance of performance and cruising. And the custom power for the throttle and each level of assist is a level of tailored performance I wish every e-bike offered. Now let's transition to the considerations. It's fantastic to be able to switch between a torque and cadence sensor. It eliminates one of the toughest choices when considering an e-bike. That said, people will most likely opt for the more natural ride of the torque sensor. The cadence sensor runs off a current-based system that offered clear steps up in power, but it didn't take much time to reach close to 20 miles per hour in eco. With the increase in motor power, I would have loved to see a couple extra amp hours of battery capacity to compensate. It's the lightest e-bike in their lineup, but it falls just outside of what I'd classify as a lightweight e-bike, and I think people would love a touch more performance. If you are looking for a bump up in comfort and capability, we have a full review on Eupphree's City Robin 3 that's worth a look. That said, when Euphree released the Solar Sparrow chain, they didn't just slap a new drivetrain on it, they made small, meaningful changes across the board. But I'd love to hear from you what you think of the Solar Sparrow chain, so drop your thoughts down below. If we've helped you decide on this or another model from Euphree, consider buying through our affiliate link in the description or via the QR code on screen. And don't forget that Euphree is growing their dealer network, so you may have a shop near you for test rides and professional assembly. And remember to use our code eBikeEscape when you register your bike within 30 days to support us and receive that free lock and stem bag. Just select eBike Escape in the promotion box. With that, like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on our reviews. I'm Miles with eBike Escape. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.